Welcome back to the third video in our series, Developing the Mentoring Relationship. Beginning a mentoring relationship can be challenging, so the goal of this video is to equip you with skills and strategies to use during the first couple of meetings with your mentee. So how do you get started? One of the best pieces of advice I can give to a mentor is to avoid the question and answer trap. Especially when we meet new people, it is very easy to ask closed-answered questions to get to know someone. How many times have you been stuck in a conversation like this? What's your name? Oh, cool. Yeah, my name is Blake. So what do you do? Oh, yeah. Okay. Do you have a favorite color? And it goes on. And younger students are particularly susceptible to this trap because they might not know how to feel confident enough to ask you questions about yourself. So just the mentor ends up peppering the mentee with question after question. Now you might be saying, well, Blake, then how do I get to know my mentee? So glad you asked. On page 6 of the Mentor Handbook, there's a space to prepare what we call open-ended questions. These are prompts that lead to discussions rather than one-word answers. One of my favorite examples is, if I was a superhero and could have any superpower, I would pick teleporting because I want to be able to travel the world. What about you? If you were a superhero, what power would you want to have and why? As you might have noticed, simply asking why can transform a closed question into an open-ended question. But I want to challenge you to have some fun and get creative. You can easily prepare 4 or 5 of these questions to have in your back pocket before going into your first meeting with your mentee. And a super pro tip is during your first couple of meetings, it can be a good idea to have a coloring material or Legos, Play-Doh, some sort of mindless activity to do so getting to know them feels less like an interrogation and more like a special time they get to have with an adult who genuinely cares about them. You'll be surprised how open a kid can be while they're piecing together some Legos, trust me. This tip also goes for my high school mentors. Bringing an adult coloring book to do with your student, it helps to just alleviate some of that pressure and awkwardness as you start to build this relationship. So we talked a little bit in the last video about developmental relationships, and a developmental relationship is a close connection through which young people discover who they are, cultivate abilities to shape their own lives, and learn how to engage with and contribute to the world around them. Remember those 5 elements of successful relationships from the Search Institute that we talked about? Those are great ways to build the mentoring relationship. And the element to focus on as we think about getting started with your mentee is expressing care. Mutual trust is the foundation of any good relationship, and a great way to build trust is by showing your mentee that you are someone that genuinely cares about them and wants to get to know them. This means consistently showing up on time to all of your meetings, listening to your mentee without judgment, and being willing to move at your mentee's pace. Another thing to remember when building the mentor relationship is that strong relationships take time. While some kids may be an open book and just tell you everything they've ever thought about, some of our students might be coming into this relationship with some trust issues, and maybe they've been hurt from other relationships with adults in their past. So if you aren't best friends by the end of your second meeting, don't lose hope. You can continue to build that trust by getting to know your mentee and expressing care. Your self-awareness exercise for this video is to seriously consider if you're willing to be able to make a significant commitment to a young person. Mentoring takes time and effort and is a big deal to the mentee. The research around mentoring shows that the effects of having to close a mentor match prematurely can be detrimental to the mentee's well-being. I say this not to scare you or discourage you from mentoring because mentoring can be the most rewarding experience, but rather it's important to consider the seriousness of a mentoring relationship and the importance of your presence on the young person's life. So if life is a little hectic right now and you're not sure if you can commit to a year-long mentoring relationship, maybe the timing just isn't quite right. And the good news is there's a lot of other ways to engage with CIS of Chesterfield. I encourage you to check out our website with the link below, and you can see some different opportunities for engagement. But we're so glad you're here, and if you continue on with our mentoring training, we just want to encourage you to visit the next video where we'll talk more about healthy communication.